Courtrooms are meant to be places of truth, places where the guilty are forced to face the damage they've caused. But sometimes they become something else entirely. T.J. Lane. On the morning of February 27, 2012, students at Chardon High School in Ohio gathered in the cafeteria before class. Within minutes, that cafeteria turned into chaos. 17-year-old T.J. Lane entered the school carrying a handgun. His original target was someone he believed was a romantic rival. But instead of confronting one person, Lane opened fire. Students ran in every direction. Some hid under tables. Others collapsed onto the floor. When the gunfire stopped, 3 students were dead. 3 more were seriously wounded. Lane was arrested shortly afterward. The evidence was overwhelming. There was no dispute over guilt. But the real shock came inside the courtroom. Lane walked in wearing a button-down shirt. As the hearing began, he slowly unbuttoned it, revealing an undershirt with one word printed across the chest: killer. The same word he wore on the day of the shooting. As prosecutors pointed it out, Lane smirked. Then came the victim impact statements. Parents stood and spoke about the children they would never see again.
Nick is a very kind and loving. Why would you want to hurt him? You don't know kind. You're evil.
They described empty bedrooms, unanswered text messages, graduations that would never happen. Lane laughed. At one point, he leaned forward and told a grieving father that he should pull the trigger on him, mocking the murder of his son.
Saying pull the trigger that killed your son, now masturbates to memory of you.
The judge called Lane's actions heinous, unprovoked, and senseless. Sentence was 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Lane showed no reaction. And somehow, this was only the beginning. Subscribe now, because the next case proves this was far from the worst. Antonio Barbeau and Nathan Pape. Murder of Barbara Olson. In September 2012, 2 teenagers in Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin made a decision that would destroy an entire family. Antonio Barbeau was 14 years old. His friend, Nathan Pape, was only slightly older. The victim was Barbeau's own great-grandmother, 78-year-old Barbara Olson. The motive was simple. They wanted money. Days before the attack, the boys discussed robbing her. They talked about using force if necessary. On the day of the attack, they asked Barbeau's mother for a ride, pretending they were visiting a friend. After being dropped off, they walked 2 miles to Olson's home. She found them in the garage and invited them inside. As she turned her back to make a phone call, Barbeau struck her in the head with a hatchet. She fell. Pape then hit her repeatedly with a hammer. Barbeau later testified that he briefly left the room because he felt sick. When he returned, Pape was still striking her. The attack continued until she stopped screaming. Afterward, the boys attempted to drag her body, leaving a trail of blood through the house. Unable to load her into the car, they dumped her in the garage. They stole loose change, jewelry, and her vehicle. Hours later, surveillance footage captured them casually eating pizza. At trial, Barbeau described the killing in chilling detail. He pled no contest to first-degree intentional homicide.
Do you understand that on your plea of no contest, the court would find and adjudge you guilty? Yes, Judge.
Sentence was life in prison with parole eligibility after 36 years. Pape cried in court. The other stared straight ahead.
I just want to say that I'm truly sorry for everything that happened. I truly regret every single thing that happened that day.
And yet, this was even the most disturbing behavior you'll hear tonight. Sandell Jackson, random robbery murder. In July 2011, Nathan Potter, a 21-year-old university student in Milwaukee, was walking home from a bar. He never made it. Sandell Jackson, 18, and his friend Derek Thomas were looking for someone to rob. Jackson had a gun. He needed money. When they approached Potter, Jackson realized he didn't have cash, so Jackson shot him anyway. Potter died on the street. After the murder, Jackson fled to Mississippi. He was eventually turned in by a family member.
You don't have enough time to think about a whole lot of things now, because you just can't take nobody's life. You know, that's just wrong. And I believe I did the right thing, and there's nobody can make me change that.
In court, Jackson showed open contempt. He cursed at the victim's family. He gestured at them as deputies escorted him away. He smiled. Nathan Potter's father begged the judge to ensure Jackson would never hurt anyone again.
Nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Sandell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again.
Jackson apologized after realizing his freedom was gone.
I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me.
The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole.
Mr. Jackson, being out in the community, I am going to go ahead on count 1, the first-degree intentional homicide conviction, and I am going to sentence Mr. Jackson to life imprisonment without possibility for extended supervision. I know that that is something that is reserved for the most serious of cases, and I believe that this case rises to that level.
As the sentence was read, chaos erupted in the courtroom. Jackson had to be physically restrained while his family screamed at the victim's parents. Derek Thomas, who acted as lookout, pleaded guilty and received 12 years in prison. But the next case involves a victim even more defenseless.
I need to kill Austin. Actually, I really did it.
Face the judge.
I really think I did it. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Dylan Schumacher, beating a toddler to death. In March 2013, Dylan Schumacher, just 16 years old, was babysitting his girlfriend's 23-month-old son, Austin Smith, in Springville, New York. Austin wouldn't stop crying. Schumacher lost control. He slapped the toddler, backhanded him, slammed his head while changing a diaper. Then he placed a pillow over his face and punched repeatedly. Medical examiners testified that Austin suffered catastrophic brain injuries, retinal hemorrhaging, and internal bleeding. Schumacher claimed he didn't mean to kill him, but the judge revealed a jail phone call where Schumacher bragged that he could cry in court and manipulate the jury.
Record will show that you admitted that on July 23, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me," end quote.
The judge called him a manipulator and deceiver. Sentence was 25 years to life in prison.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin. I loved him.
Schumacher cried as he was led away. And if you think these stories were disturbing, the next video will show you crimes that go even further.